You cannot escape from death.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I want to talk to you guys about a bunch of things that's going on all over gaming. First thing, this is bigger than gaming, but it will have its impact on gaming. It's the finality of the deal between Paramount and Warner Bros. At first, we thought Netflix would buy Warner Bros., but it's actually Paramount. I can't remember how much money was there, but it was a triple-digit billion. It was like 100 billion something. Basically, it's going to alter media as a whole. Here you can see all of the different things that Paramount / Warner Bros. Will have under their control. And it's some of the biggest and most influential news networks and TV shows and, TikTok, Sky. It's massive. It's going to definitely change the way that media is consumed, media is perceived. It's going to have a big impact. Now, as for video games, there was this new update where it says Paramount acquisition of Warner Bros. Will result in cuts of more than $16 billion over approximately 18 months. If the purchase is approved, the gaming division will be affected by these cuts. Now, even though it only lists 4 gaming studios, we looked at the actual news article, and the actual news article words it differently. They say this will affect games, films, movies, and like TV shows. And then it says the most notable game studios are these 4, but it doesn't include, but it's not limited to those. So even though they don't say NetherRealm Studios is a part of this, it will be affected. But we don't know how it will be affected. We can't just doom and assume. Honestly, I think Mortal Kombat is in a bit of a bad spot and they need to freshen it up. So maybe this can help them. Maybe it will hurt them. Only time will truly tell. Now, as for Mortal Kombat, you have this tweet here from Ed Boon, which was kind of confusing to me. He was basically asking what is the best way to bring back Killer Instinct. A lot of fighting games are kind of having their return to, the glory, right? DOA, Virtual Fighter, Tekken, Mortal Kombat. So many fighting games that we thought were gone is like here to stay, right? So it seems, right? 2XKO. But it's a poll where he asks people 4 options. I'll only read the 2 that's close. It's a full $70 game. That's 45%, which is the winner. And then it's a free-to-play all systems. Now, the people who say free-to-play, I think that's kind of stupid and dangerous because here's why. The last couple of free-to-play games we'd had, Multiverses to 2XKO, didn't turn out so well. I think those games probably would have been better if they had a real launch and if they really went all in on the console. Now, I wanted to play 2XKO. I can't say whether it's a good or bad game. I'll leave that for someone else who has actual hours playing it. But just on the marketing side, they could have done better in the lead up. And I think making it a $70 game instead of a free to play would have been better, right? Another thing and also the reason why I was so confused by this is because why is Ed Boon asking this question? Is he a part of the studio? Does he know the studio? Is he just a fan of it? I don't know. Someone tell me. The next thing that I wanted to talk about was, and I seen this in a true underdog gaming video where he titled it Mortal Kombat 13 Confirmed or something crazy like that. But basically, it's based off of this tweet here from Jeff Keighley where he's basically saying for Warner Bros. Games, some of the biggest franchises will return in 2017, in 2027 and 2028. Obviously, when you talk about big games for Warner Bros., Batman, Mortal Kombat, a lot of people wanted Justice. They were supposed to do Injustice before Mortal Kombat 1, but they scrapped those plans and they went for, what would be a sure sale, which is Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat's more popular than Injustice. So will they do that again? Me personally, I think they should, bro. They should just keep making Mortal Kombat, but they gotta make it right. The story was good up until a certain point. They gotta get away from the multiverses. That's very bad. And then also they gotta bring back the gameplay. While we're also on the topic of the identity of Mortal Kombat, there was this rage bait tweet. It is 100% fake. Ed Boon did not say this. This is just someone who's trying to stir up controversy and chaos. And of course, they're using a beloved IP like Mortal Kombat, and they're trying to, tie it to something that isn't true. Shame on this person. Hopefully, they get hit with a community note because some people are believing this. Not me. The YouTube chat did not have to tell me that this was fake. I knew it was fake all on my own. Let me scroll up to the part of the YouTube chat where everyone's saying it's fake. Okay, but look, this is kind of bad though that people are trying to stir up controversy like this. The LGBT people, they get enough flack on Twitter. Just let bros and them be happy, right? The reason why I want to talk about Highguard, this game will go offline March 12th. The reason why I wanted to talk about Highguard is because this was the game that was hyped the most at the Game Awards, and a lot of people were blaming Jeff Keighley for the game's failure. Now, I think, and I was talking with some people who said that the game just would have failed on its own. Like if Jeff Keighley didn't gas it, if it wasn't promoted, it would have just lived or died on its own. Like that's kind of how games are, bro. You think Arc Raiders and E33 and some of these other games that came out of nowhere had this huge market? No. If the game is good, it will succeed. If the game is not good, maybe they could go back to the drawing board. With a game like Highguard, they couldn't. The reason why this is so important as well, because you see how cutthroat the gaming industry is, and with Tekken 8 squandering their first 2 years, if they do the same thing a third time, this could very much be them, where it says Tekken 8 permanently shut down, Bandai Namco did this, blah 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 blah. That game still didn't reach a 4 million copies sold. They usually sell 1 million copies every year. They haven't done that since the release of season 2. That's not good. Another thing that I want to talk about is Street Fighter. Street Fighter is constantly and always pushing their characters and trying to figure out a way to just make them go more viral and be more famous. I envy them as a Tekken player because I want Tekken to do the same thing. Bandai Namco have so many connections to so many different properties, whether it be Gundam, whether it be Goku, Naruto. I just want to see Bandai Namco do some bigger and better collaborations. Fortnite, Call of Duty, Arc Raiders, etc. GTA, whoever will allow it, do it, not just mobile games. But Capcom, they say they plan to align Street Fighter game marketing initiatives with the release of Street Fighter live action movie releasing in October 2026. We intend to expand the sales opportunities by aligning marketing initiatives with films release. This is pretty good, right? Because they are releasing the movie, obviously, so is Mortal Kombat. Hopefully Tekken gets inspired by that and puts out a full, like, real movie. That would be great for the franchise. I think that would be amazing. Also, I think Tekken should do a comic. I think Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter both did comics to promote their games at one point in time. But if I had to try and interpret this, I would assume that it means that their characters that's in the movies will be promoted in some big way to coincide with that, but then also characters that's in the movie will probably show up in the game at some point, because we are waiting to see the next reveal of DLC characters, right? Hopefully it's Balrog, Vega, etc. Also, Street Fighter is doing this weird thing where they're releasing cards. The cards is an energy drink. The energy drink range features art from Street Fighter 6 characters with a manufacturer saying it helps esports players. Concentration is required. So it's a card that you can squeeze and drink and it gives you energy, and it's Street Fighter inspired. Once again, Tekken should do something like this. And also that's pretty crazy too, because it's like, I wonder if this will really work. I think a pro player will first check with your doctor and make sure this doesn't like mess up, your health and whatnot. But I would love to see a pro player try this. This person responded and says, O2 in grand finals and the Akuma juice starts talking to you. So you actually kill the guy. Exactly, right? Another thing I want to talk about is God of War. I know I don't mention it much on this channel, but I'm a huge fan of the genre. God of War 3 is one of my favorite games of all time, and I'm looking forward to the TV series. For the TV series, here's a look at Kratos. Funny enough, the creator of God of War said, could you find a picture that doesn't look like he's taking a dump in the woods? Because that's what that picture looks like. This is a very weird promotional picture to show off. This looks like one of those YouTube parody videos instead of an actual TV show. Hopefully the show turns out very well. Hopefully it's very entertaining. It will start off from the Norse and skip over to Greek mythology. I would have loved to see them start at the actual roots of Kratos. Maybe they'll flash back to it, but the new Kratos, the Norse era, is easier to transform into a TV show. But then also on the topic of the game, this was crazy. It says a new God of War title is in development, though Kratos will not be the main character. Freya, Kratos' second wife, will be the leading actor, according to reports. I don't know how I feel about that. I was already kind of hesitant and like Loki being the main character and Kratos not being there. But for it not to be Loki and it to be Freya, they will lose a lot of power if they do that. Kratos is Kratos. He's one of the most iconic characters in all of video game history. Taking the story away from him, bad idea. But then also, Loki was the one who was prepped up for the past like decade almost. Why would you not use him? We'll have to see how true this rumor is. This comes from a very credible source. Look at the Twitter account. So we'll have to see if this is true or not. If not, bro, it low key, like, I don't know if it's going to break records like the other ones do. Lastly, another game that is very impactful, very influential, and it's amazing, GTA 6. GTA 6 is ran by Rockstar. Rockstar are reportedly releasing fake GTA 6 info to catch leakers. Known leaker, this person here, added that getting intel is almost impossible for me currently. No one is talking about GTA 6. I think that's kind of good though. The game is going to release at the end of the year. I really don't want to see any more leaks about it. I will look if it's not a story leak. Story leaks I stay far away from. Gameplay leaks though, I'll check it out, you know. This also reminds me of what Tekken 8 and other games have done, where you release fake leaks. They tag the leak so they can see what studio is doing it, because it's a studio, it's an employee at this studio. If you put out concept art or characters or whatever, you know, gameplay, and you put a tag, ID tag on that video, if it released to the public, you look at the ID tag and you know which person did it because you tagged all the videos. It's a very smart strategy. It's a real way to shut down leaks, right? But that's pretty much it.